Welcome back. If you've got any old Lincoln wheat pennies lying around, you might be holding more than just 1 cent. Some of these coins, especially from rare years or with minting errors, are worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. In this video, we'll show you exactly which wheat pennies are valuable and how to spot them in your collection or pocket change. Let's get started. First up, 1920 for Lincoln wheat penny coin without mint mark, coin condition bad. The 1920 for Lincoln wheat penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint and does not carry any mint mark, which was standard for coins produced there. This penny belongs to the early years of the Lincoln cent series, which started in 1909 and featured the wheat reverse design until 1958. The obverse of the coin features the profile of President Abraham Lincoln with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 1924. While the reverse shows two wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America, along with the motto E pluribus unum. In bad condition, this coin has likely lost much of its original detail. Circulation, where over the decades has probably caused flattening of Lincoln's facial features. The lettering may be weak or partially worn off, and the wheat ears on the reverse may be heavily smoothed. There could also be additional signs of aging, such as corrosion, pitting, discoloration, or surface grime that has built up over time. These defects can result from poor storage, exposure to moisture, or handling without care over the years. Despite its condition, the 1920 for Lincoln wheat penny still holds value for collectors, particularly those building date sets or those interested in early 20th century U.S. coinage. However, due to its high mintage and the availability of examples in better condition, the coin in bad shape is generally considered to have only modest worth. Its value typically ranges from just above face value up to a few dollars, depending on the severity of the damage and remaining visible details. For example, if the date is still readable and the wheat reverse is partially visible, it may appeal to beginner collectors or those filling lower grade spots in their collections. Well, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 75 million of these coins in 1920 for the lack of mint mark sometimes causes confusion among new collectors who assume missing mint marks indicate rarity. In this case, however, no mint mark simply means the coin was minted in Philadelphia, which was common. Rarer 1920 for wheat pennies include those from the Denver Mint with a D mint mark, where far fewer were produced, and better condition examples of that version are more desirable and valuable. Coins in bad condition like this 1920, for example, can still be appreciated for their historical value. They represent a time when 1 cent held greater purchasing power and circulated coins played a crucial role in everyday commerce. This penny may have passed through hundreds of hands over its lifetime, buying goods and services throughout the early and mid-20th century. Every scratch, dent, and worn edge tells part of that long journey. Collectors and enthusiasts sometimes keep low-grade coins like this for educational purposes or as placeholders in a larger collection. It also allows for comparisons with higher-grade examples to study the effects of wear and aging on coin design and materials. Some people enjoy searching for these older pennies in coin rolls or old jars, where worn coins often turn up after decades of being out of regular circulation. Although this coin does not meet the standards of fine or uncirculated specimens, it still represents a piece of American numismatic history. It connects modern collectors to the past and offers a tangible link to the era of the Roaring Twenties when the coin was struck. In 1920 for the United States was in the midst of social and technological transformation, and pennies like this were part of daily life for people during that time. For those hoping to improve the condition of such a coin, cleaning is not recommended unless done by a professional. Cleaning can often reduce a coin's appeal and may even lower its value further by removing natural patina or causing additional surface damage. It is usually best to leave coins in their found state and store them properly in dry, low humidity environments using archival materials. In summary, the 1920 for Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in bad condition may not have significant monetary value, but it holds historical significance and can still find a place in a collection, especially among early Lincoln cents. Its wear and damage reflect its age and usage, and even in a degraded state it tells a story of time and circulation. Coins like this remain meaningful as relics of the past and contribute to the broader appreciation of numismatic heritage. Next up we have 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny Condition Fine. The 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny is part of the last few years of the iconic wheat cent design before it was replaced in 1959 with the Lincoln Memorial reverse. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint, which is signified by the small d mint mark found just below the date on the obverse of the coin. The obverse of the coin features the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse displays two stalks of wheat which curve along the edges of the coin and enclose the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, along with the national motto E pluribus unum. In fine condition, the coin still retains noticeable detail on both sides. The image of Lincoln is clear with minor wear on the cheek and jawline. The lettering, including Liberty and In God We Trust, should be fully readable and bold. The wheat stalks on the reverse will show signs of wear, but still have partial lines visible, and the overall shape is intact. This condition is better than coins that are graded as good or very good because more of the original design remains visible despite light to moderate wear. The 1956 penny is one of the more common wheat pennies due to the high mintage of over 1 billion coins produced at the Denver Mint that year. However, even though it is common, the value of this coin increases significantly when the condition is higher or if there are any unique variations or errors. In fine condition, a regular 1956 penny might only sell for a few dollars in a typical collector's market, but rare examples with unusual characteristics can command significantly higher prices. For example, a coin with strong red coloring which indicates original mint luster or one that has no contact marks can be worth more. Even higher value is possible for error coins, such as double diab versus off-center strikes or repunched mint marks, which are highly sought after by collectors. In recent high-profile auctions, certain pristine or rare examples of 1956 wheat pennies have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. If a coin has both eye appeal and rarity, it can reach even higher values, sometimes well over $100,000. There is always interest in Lincoln Wheat pennies among collectors because they offer a glimpse into the economic and cultural history of the United States. The 1956 coin was struck during a time of economic prosperity in the post-war era. Coins like this one were used in everyday transactions during the time of President Dwight Eisenhower and are now considered an important part of American numismatic history. Even if the coin has only moderate value in the collector market, in fine condition, it remains a piece of that history. Many collectors work to assemble complete sets of Lincoln Wheat pennies, and a 1956 is an essential entry in such a set. Because of its relatively high availability, it is often used by collectors to teach beginners about coin grading mint marks and the importance of preservation. Coins should always be handled carefully by the edges to avoid adding oils or dirt to the surface. For storage, it is best to keep coins in acid-free holders in a cool, dry environment to preserve the details and prevent future corrosion or spotting. While cleaning may seem like a way to improve the look of the coin, it often reduces the value, especially if done with abrasive tools or harsh chemicals. Overall, the 1956 Lincoln Wheat penny in fine condition stands as a solid representative of the closing years of the wheat cent era. It is a collector favorite due to its age, historical context, and accessible value. While many of these pennies still exist and circulate among collectors, few remain in truly exceptional condition. This is why those that are visually striking or have documented minting errors can sell for large amounts of money at auctions, with some examples reaching prices from $50,000 to even over $500,000 depending on rarity and preservation. Collectors should always look closely at these coins for signs of doubling, misalignment, or unusual features, and if such traits are found, a professional coin grading service can help determine if the coin qualifies for a rare Classification. This helps establish the coin's market value and provides documentation that is useful for resale or auction. Even in fine condition, a 1956 wheat penny is more than just a piece of copper. It is a part of the American story, a snapshot of a time when coins were made with care and artistry, and an affordable entry point into the world of numismatics for collectors of all ages. Next up we have the 1957 Lincoln Wheat penny coin without mint mark coin condition red shade. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. This coin features the image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse with the familiar inscriptions "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year of minting. On the reverse side, it displays the classic wheat stalks design with 1 cent and United States of America, along with the motto "E pluribus unum." This design was in use from 1909 until 1958, and the 1957 version is among the later years of wheat cent production. The absence of a mint mark indicates that this coin was struck in Philadelphia, which did not use a mint mark for cents during this period. The overall mintage for the 1957 no mint mark penny was in the hundreds of millions, making it a relatively common coin in general circulation. However, the condition red shade gives this particular coin additional interest and potential value. Among collectors, the red shade refers to the coin's original mint luster. When a copper coin is first minted, it has a bright reddish color caused by the freshly struck copper surface. Over time, exposure to air, moisture, and handling will cause the coin to turn brown. A red shade coin has retained much of that original color, indicating it was well preserved, likely kept away from environmental damage, and possibly stored in a controlled environment or mint set. Red shade coins are highly desirable, especially if they are free from spots, scratches, and contact marks. Even if the coin has no rare mint error or low mintage, its condition can place it in a higher value range. While most circulated 1957 wheat pennies are worth only a few cents to $1, red shade examples in pristine condition can be worth more. Collectors pay premiums for coins that have original red color, especially if they grade in the high mint state range such as MS 65 or above. Although the 1957 Lincoln Wheat penny is common in general, red shade examples with high eye appeal can be valued from hundreds to thousands of dollars. In rare cases, coins with full red tone and high-grade certification have sold for prices ranging from $10,000 to more than $500,000, depending on other factors, such as strike quality, rarity of the red, preservation, and market demand. If this particular coin displays full red luster without major contact marks, it could fall into a much higher value category, especially when professionally graded and certified by services like PCGS or NGC. It is important to note that coin grading plays a big role in value. A red shade coin that is uncirculated and shows sharp details will grade higher than one with dull surfaces or visible damage. Professional grading also ensures authenticity and helps in determining exact market value. For a 1957 penny to be worth a significant amount, it usually must be in mint state red with no visible wear and possibly have unique qualities like double dyes, repunch mint marks, or other recognized errors. This coin being red shade and without mint mark suggests that it was well preserved since the time of minting. This makes it especially interesting for collectors who seek high-quality coins from the wheat penny series. It may have been pulled from circulation early and stored properly, or may have come from an uncirculated mint roll. Such coins are now difficult to find in original red condition due to decades of circulation and oxidation. Collectors prize these red shade examples for their beauty and historical context. The late 1950s were a transitional period in U.S. coinage, and this coin represents one of the final years before the wheat design was retired. Holding onto a red shade 1957 penny is holding a piece of preserved American history. Preserving the coin in its current state is important to maintain its value. It should be kept in a coin holder away from moisture and light to prevent further toning or corrosion. Handling should be limited and only done by the edges to prevent fingerprints or oil from affecting the surface. In conclusion, the 1957 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark in red shade condition stands as a valuable collectible due to its preserved color and potential grade. Although common in general, the red shade quality sets it apart. If in near mint or uncirculated condition, it can command high prices and become one of the more desirable wheat pennies from that era. For serious collectors or those looking to evaluate its true value, professional grading is the best next step. With the right grade and preservation, this coin could be worth anywhere from hundreds to as much as $500,000. Next up we have the 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny coin condition circulated. The 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny was minted at the Denver Mint, which is indicated by the letter D placed just below the year on the obverse side of the coin. This coin is part of the well-known Wheat penny series, which was produced from 1909 to 1958, featuring the bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the front and to stylized wheat stalks on the back representing strength and prosperity. In circulated condition, this 1953 penny likely shows signs of wear from use in daily transactions over many decades. These signs can include smoothing of details in Lincoln's hair and face, reduced definition in the lettering and numbers, and general flattening of the wheat stalks on the reverse side. Despite this wear, it still retains its identity as a mid-century copper penny and is of interest to collectors and historians alike. The 1953 penny had a very high mintage, with over 700 million coins produced at the Denver Mint, making it a common date in the Lincoln Wheat penny series. Because of this high mintage, the value of a circulated example is typically modest. However, some collectors still seek this coin to complete date and mint mark sets, and as a result, it has a small numismatic value above face value depending on condition. And I appeal. In general, a circulated 1953 penny might be worth a few cents to a couple of dollars depending on the level of wear and presence of any unusual features. Coins with clear readable dates, full rims, and visible wheat details are more desirable than those heavily worn with faded design elements. While the average example might not reach high price levels, any unique characteristics, such as a mint error, could raise its value significantly. There are some known varieties and errors for the 1953 wheat penny. These include possible doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes. If the coin in question displays any of these characteristics, it should be examined more closely, perhaps even submitted to a professional grading service for authentication and evaluation. Mint errors, especially if dramatic or rare, can raise the value of a common date coin substantially. Although this particular coin is circulated and may not have the sharp detail or vibrant red tone of a mint state example, it still has historical importance. It was minted during a time of post-war prosperity in the United States, when coinage was still produced primarily with high-quality copper. The coin is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, which gives it a distinct reddish-brown color when new and a darker tone after years in circulation. For those assembling a complete collection of Lincoln Wheat pennies, the 1953 is a required date and mint mark combination. While easier to find than other more scarce dates, it still holds collectible interest, especially if it can be found with good eye appeal or unique toning. Many collectors aim to obtain one coin from each year and mint in the Wheat penny series, and even circulated coins can fill valuable spots in these collections. Storage and care for circulated coins is still important. Even though this coin has been used, it should be handled carefully to prevent further wear. It can be placed in a coin holder or album that keeps it protected from moisture, dirt, and physical damage. Avoid cleaning the coin, as this can lower its value to collectors who prefer original surfaces, even if worn. In terms of market value, while most circulated 1953 pennies range between 5 cents and $1, those with better preservation or special characteristics can be worth more. It is not uncommon for high-end uncirculated examples to reach values in the range of $50 to several $100s, especially if graded by a recognized service in displaying full red color and strong strike. Rare error coins or exceptionally well-preserved examples have occasionally fetched even higher amounts, possibly reaching several $1,000 in exceptional cases. This coin remains a part of the long and rich history of American coinage. Its presence in circulation helped carry commerce during the early 1950s, and today it serves as a reminder of the value of everyday items that often go unnoticed. Whether added to a collection for its date and mint mark or examined for educational interest, the 1953 D. Lincoln Wheat penny continues to be a piece of accessible American history. Next up we have the 1953 D. Lincoln Wheat penny was minted at the Denver Mint and is part of the long-running Wheat penny series that was issued from 1909 to 1958. This particular coin features the classic design by Victor D. Brenner on the obverse, showing the profile of Abraham Lincoln, and the reverse shows two wheat ears which flank the inscriptions United States of America and 1 cent. The D mint mark below the date indicates that the coin was struck in Denver, which was responsible for producing a large portion of circulating pennies during this period. The 1953 D. Lincoln Wheat penny had a high mintage of over 700 million coins, making it a common date in the Wheat penny series. However, the true value of a 1953 D penny depends not just on the year and mint mark, but largely on its condition, luster, and eye appeal. When a coin retains its original copper color, which collectors describe as red, it becomes far more desirable. This coin is described as being in red shade, which means that it still shows much of the bright red copper tone that it had when it was first minted. Red shade coins are considered to be in superior condition compared to coins that have toned to brown or red-brown due to age and oxidation. Coins in red shade can sometimes be worth significantly more, especially when they show few signs of wear. A red 1953 D penny that has been well preserved and has minimal contact marks or abrasions can be graded as mint state. Grading services use a scale from 1 to 70, and a coin that grades at 60 or above is considered mint state. Mint state coins with full red color are especially valuable because they are harder to find. Most pennies from this period have been heavily circulated, which often leads to discoloration, loss of detail, and the development of brown tones. For example, a 1953 D penny in mint state 65 red may be valued anywhere from $20 to several $100s depending on the overall appearance and whether it has been certified by a professional grading company. In extremely rare cases, if a 1953 D penny receives a grade of mint state 67 red or higher, it could be worth well over $1,000 or even more. Some top examples have sold for more than $5,000 at auction when demand among collectors is strong and the coin displays exceptional quality. There are also instances where a coin may have mint errors or varieties which can add to its value. Although the 1953 D penny is not widely known for major varieties, there are some coins with repunched mint marks or slight doubling in the lettering or date. These varieties are of special interest to collectors of error coins, and when they occur on a coin with red color and mint state preservation, they can push the value even higher. Another important factor that affects a coin's value is eye appeal. Even if a coin is technically graded as mint state, it may have unattractive spots, dull luster, or other flaws that reduce its desirability. A red 1953 D penny with a smooth surface, full luster, and no spotting or toning is far more likely to be valued at the upper end of the price range. Collectors will often pay a premium for coins that look especially bright or fresh, even if they are otherwise common in terms of mintage. When storing a red shade coin, such as the 1953 D penny, care must be taken to avoid exposure to air, humidity, and chemicals which can dull the color or create spots over time. These coins are best kept in coin holders made of inert materials or in sealed holders if professionally graded. It is also advisable not to handle red coins with bare hands, since the oils and moisture from the skin can lead to changes in the surface and affect the coin's appearance and value. Although the 1953 D penny is not rare in a general sense, its value comes from its condition and color. A collector trying to build a high-grade wheat penny set will often see coins that retain their red color since such pieces are more difficult to find in original condition. For this reason, red shade coins continue to be in demand despite their common mintage and are often chosen as key examples in high-quality Lincoln cent collections. The 1953 penny serves as an excellent example of how the condition and color of a coin can have a dramatic effect on its value. While an average circulated 1953 penny may only be worth a few cents, a red shade version in mint state can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Its appeal lies not only in its historical significance, but also in its bright color and well-preserved appearance, which reflect the craftsmanship and care of mid-20th century coin production. In conclusion, the 1953 Lincoln wheat penny in red shade condition is a highly attractive and collectible coin. It may not be rare in terms of how many were made, but its value and desirability are greatly enhanced by its color condition and potential for high grading. For collectors interested in assembling a visually striking and historically important set of Lincoln cents, the red 1953 penny is a standout choice that offers beauty, history, and investment potential.